My favorite moment in the opera. Well, it's hard for me to point to a single moment that is my favorite. So maybe I'll just talk quickly about what my favorite aspect is. My favorite aspect of the opera is that we get to examine this relationship that he has with Stella, his lover, in three different stories, each one focusing on one part or one element or characteristic of their relationship. And so as we go through, we really get to a depth and understanding that plays out through the whole thing. And I think that's my favorite aspect of it.
I think there are so many, and there are different ones in each act, which is a pretty exciting thing to feel that way. But my favorite, if I were a baritone for a day, is I would love to sing part of the men's trio in the Antonia act. And then it comes up with the trio with the mother and Dr. Miracle and Antonia right thereafter. So I think that those two trios back to back really sell it for me musically in this opera.
My favorite moment in the opera is the trio in the Antonia act, perhaps the most well-known and hummable tune in the opera. It's a really, really high-stakes moment, and that's one of the spookiest characters I get to play, Dr. Miracle, who's essentially a doctor of death.
It's very difficult to choose a favorite moment in this opera because, as anyone who comes to the show will recognize, there's one gorgeous moment after another, and there's also one snappy, fun moment after another. This opera has so much packed into it. Even in its idiom, it has so much variety. It's hard to choose. I would have to go probably from an emotional point of view. There's a point toward the end in which Hoffmann has really come to a very low point, and the gentleness with which Offenbach lets my muse character sort of address Hoffmann and recognize his state, but also have this very profound empathy for him. This is my favorite moment, and it's probably one of the most simple musically as well.
I love the Antonia the Antonia act where Dr. Miracle is trying to get her to sing, where he's tempting her to sing, and then she just keeps singing until she dies.
I've done the production a few times now, and my favorite moment varies from time to time, but this time it's the trio between the three men in the Antonia act, where they've got the bad guy, they've got the father, and they've got Hoffmann all kind of expressing all of these ideas into one like giant musical crescendo, and it's very cool and loud and beautiful.
Oh, my favorite one. The Bach roll, of course, is absolutely stunning. It's just written so beautifully. So I would have to say that.
I don't really have a favorite moment of the opera. It might be the ending. Now we do this new ending with recently rediscovered music that's really exciting. And I like it much better than the old ending, which was a little depressing with Hoffmann and the Muse by themselves on stage. Now there's a much bigger, more Offenbachian kind of ending. So I'm quite fond of that.
Well, oh my goodness, as a conductor I have so many favorite moments. I love the two trios in the Antonia scene, I think my favorite is the mother, when the mother joins in for the mother's trio. That's really great. But also that septet in the Giulietta scene, which is based on the same as the barcarolle, the same music as the barcarolle. I just think that is glorious. This opera has tunes from the time the curtain goes up until the time the curtain goes down. So it's just a joy every second along the way.